everyone. Thank you for coming. I am very excited to be here tonight. I'm Stefana Johnson, as you know, and tonight I get to share one of my favorite healing modalities. It is tapping, also known as emotional freedom technique, and it is a very effective technique, simple to use, and I like to say lightning fast results. I have been a healer for 22 years. Originally started out as a therapist, a counselor, and a chaplain, and have moved into, kind of as our culture changes, the coaching. And I am a coach, and I am known as the sexual trauma and abuse specialist. I more recently claimed that when I, let's say, tackled my own dragons in the area of sexual trauma and abuse. And it had remained dormant in my life for many years. And I never looked at that piece and how it was creating destructive patterns in my life, in my relationships, in my personal love life relationships, as well as my interpersonal relationships, as well as my relationship with myself, as well as my relationships with my money, with my parents, with my family, it was such a deep wound that I could not look at it. And the clincher on it was that an otherwise very competent counselor didn't know how to help me. And without having the understanding or tools, I think you can really do more damage to someone who's wanting to heal and needing to heal by not being understanding and compassionate and essentially incompetent in the area of this and understanding whether you're a competent counselor or not. And I think that that's why I chose to step into this. And I was kind of kicking and screaming as I was doing it, but my mentor said, Stefana, this is it. You keep bringing this up. But I kept bringing it up over here in my own world, in my world, and I kept it separate from my business world and my professional life. No, I'm not, that doesn't go together, ever. And the moment I saw it, and boy, I was kicking and screaming and fighting all the way, the moment it happened, real healing started to occur for me. And I've been on this healing path for 7 years, specifically this sexual trauma and abuse piece for myself. Before that, for 15 years, just being a healer for other people. Right? So I have become a master at healing modalities, holistic in nature, because I am definitely more of what they call alternative, mystical, and I am absolutely, the concept would be, okay, I'm not going to degrade myself, but there are some, including people in my family, who consider me a black sheep because I am definitely not the mainstream. I am definitely on a more holistic alternative path. I always have been, and it doesn't always mesh with the allopathic. However, it's changing. We can feel that, we can see this. We look at the internet now and we can see EFT, it's all over the place. Hurrah! And there are scads of amazing modalities that heal people every single day from otherwise impossible to cure, never be able to heal, takes forever, takes years. No. And that's what's so exciting about this. That's what's so exciting about the work that I get to do now, is that we have the opportunity in this day and age to know and to understand and to be sovereign healers of our own lives and to step into that path and to step in and claim what used to be those stumbling blocks and see that they are our stepping stones. And as I like to call our wounds, sacred wounds. My group, the Sacred Wound Warriors, because essentially that's what we are. It's time for us to step and fight for ourselves and reclaim our power. And this isn't me being, whoa, no, it's just this authentic place from my heart of I'm done cowering, I'm done cutting myself off in my heart and my soul to please another person or to please someone else that doesn't really matter. And does that resonate with anyone? I don't want to ask specific questions so that there's a dialogue for the confidentiality and privacy of our group. But it's important to come to that realization, and I've had to come to it, and that's why I'm in this place now. And as I start to heal and as I help others heal, I heal. And as you here heal yourself, you heal others. Do you see how we're all, because here's my first principle. Let's see if you all know this. Here's a test. Our first one of the day. Everything is what? Everything is, does anyone know? Or does anyone want to take a whack at it? Everything is energy. Everything we see is energy. Has anyone seen The Matrix? You get all that computer stuff? It's energy. That's just a concept. You can see visually, if you're a visual learner, that'll give you an idea of the picture. But conceptually, I mean, even the vibration of music. Think about how we get the internet. It's all vibration. It's all energy. It's tremendous. So if everything's energy, what happens to, let's say, for example, if we have negative emotions, what does that mean? In the work that we do with tapping and emotional freedom technique, it means there's a disruption in the energy. The force has been penetrated. Okay? Everything's energy. We can call it force, we can call it, what are the other names that we've heard? Well, the force is a big one because we still talk about that. Even, you know, that's shifted our reality, the force. So everything is energy. Now let's look and see how that affects us on our physical plane. Because after all, if we didn't have a physical plane, we may not have, okay, excuse my very crude drawing. So what do we have here? A body, right? And we're going to call this the physical body. Physical body. What is it composed of? Energy. It's just more dense. Now, if you look at the physical body, and then we draw a circle around, and this is just conceptual. The physical body has energy. Like if someone comes into your space, you can feel them even if they're not touching you, yes? Okay, so you understand that. Now there are other energy definitions around us. Let's say, for example, you walk into a room and, whoa, you know something icky has happened. Whoa, yep, they've been fighting. Or you walk into a room and, hooray, the energy is just exciting and happy. Okay, so what's that? It's the energy again. You could be 40 feet away and you're still picking up that energy on your energy body, all right? Now, there's also the mental, okay, right? So we can pick up the phone and right before we pick it up, we're getting ready to call somebody and they've called us, okay? That's still, we're going to categorize that as our mental. And then there's something that you may not have heard of, and that's the etheric body. The etherical body, I learned when I started studying Rudolf Steiner, because I chose to homeschool my boys in a Waldorf tradition, and anthroposophy is what Rudolf Steiner is. So dive in. I love to study, and I'm constantly learning. So anthroposophy was a path I chose to take off on for a little while, and I discovered something huge. The etherical body is something that we are actually, it's like a shield around us when we're born. We come into the world and we have this etherical body. But about the age of 7, it breaks away a little bit, right? Because if you've ever seen a child, how they're childlike and they're playful, it's an unaware playfulness. And yet they're aware of something a little bit outside of this thing that we've got going on here in this solid place. Do you get that? Do you get that with me? Okay. So this etherical body really is a piece that I was missing when I was doing my healing. Because between the age of 1 and 7, I was sexually abused. And my etheric body had been penetrated and shattered and collapsed in on the other bodies, the emotional body, the mental body, which led to what? Confusion in my mind. Okay. Spiritual, so my heart, more confusion, anxiety, because my basic survival components were betrayed, for lack of a better, betrayed, okay? And so anxiety, confusion, and then it continues and you get these negative emotions, which again is the disruption in the energy field. And that's why I wanted to give you that big display, so that you can get the components. Because if we come into this just from the physical aspect of it, and the doctor says, take this pill and you will be better, and we don't get better, now you know why. Because there are layers, and I've only shown you a few of them, there are many more. Okay? We are just beginning to grasp how powerful we are. It said we only use 10% of our brain, but guess what? It's only because, like the iceberg, that's the only part that we're aware of. That's our critical thinking. That's our reasoning. That's what makes us human beings, our ability to reason. And there's 90% below. And this iceberg, ginormous, huge, right? That can affect us. So guess where all that stuff is? Bump. So why is it that we can't figure this out and go, well, I'm here right now, it's March such and such, 25 years later, what's going on? How come this person comes up to me and wants to touch me and I cringe and my stomach feels awful and I start shaking? What's going on? That critical thinking part, no. So then this part has to come into play and say, oh, well, it's because you're screwed up. Oh, it's because you need this. It's because you need more vitamins. It's because you need pills. It's because you're ADHD. It's because you're depressed. It's because, and then we get all the labels, and then we get more confusion, and we don't solve the problem. We don't heal. And we don't heal means we don't be who we are. Right here, right now, in this moment, and live our soul's perfection. And that's what I want to get across, is that we are perfect. Can you imagine? How does that feel to hear that? You are perfection, exactly as you are. It's hard, isn't it? Yeah, I know. All right, so now let's get to the tool to add to our toolbox. We've got the ideas of what stops us from healing. What other ideas would you think could stop you from healing? So beliefs. Beliefs can stop you from moving forward. Decisions that you've made back here that, oh no, I can never trust anyone again. I can never have love. I can never do this. Don't do this. And that's stuck now here, and you're acting on that in present moment, right? And it comes up in the form of these negative emotions. Any negative emotion, any jealousy, self-hate, I mean, you name it, from apathy to, it's the gamut. EFT is phenomenal for any of them. I'm going to give you one piece first that I love, and it's called a spinal flush. I do it with my sons. And this comes from Donna Eden. That's who originally I studied energy movement and these pieces. EFT, you can get history and background on it. I won't go into that, but the spinal flush I want to teach you now, because I think you can use it immediately. Now, it does require someone else doing it to you or you doing it to them. Very simple. So the spine, the spinal column, right? It is the first that's developed in the womb. So there's a lot of energy. And what I like to do is start at the base of the skull, because our head is sitting on that, right? Base of the skull, and go straight down. If you want to stand up and do that to each other, let's go ahead and do that. And you'll just feel the difference. I want you to actually feel it. So you can just take your fingers and just go down. Yeah, we line up and start doing it on each other. Okay? So we're just going to go straight down. And you're just flushing the spine, flushing the spine, flushing the spine. Just a nice pressure, nothing super hard, but you know, you just start doing it, it's like, oh. So how does that feel? Spinal flush, there you go. Another tool for your toolbox. And when you're having a fight with your spouse or your kids are fighting, I love doing that. It's a super easy thing. And I'll say now, oh, time for spinal flush. Okay? Because it helps clear up that energy. And what it does is it helps you reconnect.
When you say reconnect, do you mean keeping yourself connected and not disconnected?
It's also part of that grounding. Okay? Now, that's a whole other topic because I really believe in walking barefoot on this earth as much as possible. And I go up, sometimes I will just lay against a tree or lay against the ground if I can't be bare on the ground. But that's a whole other topic. That's my woo-woo stuff where I go hug trees. I'm totally a tree hugger. But it's grounding. Yes, it's getting that grounding into the earth. And that spinal flush, once again, that gets you connected to your full battery of energy. Okay? Because it's kind of the source of it. We know the spinal column, the nerves run the energy of the body. And the reason I do it before I do EFT with clients is this. Because most people that are doing EFT right now, who has done EFT before? Okay, all right, so you have an understanding. And you know that there are points that we use, right? Now, I have used different points because I've been practicing for a long time and I do reflexology. So I believe that there are more points and different points for different people. You know me, I'm not a cookie cutter. There's no one size fits all, period. And although EFT there's a standard way to do it, in this emotional freedom technique, so the tapping, there is that standard way, I believe that once someone owns that tool, they can establish it for themselves as the most workable so that they get the most benefit. And I have found doing that spinal flush is a nice starting point. Now, a couple of other key points, and that's that we like to have a gauge. So what I'd like to do is pick out something that would be around an 8, 9, or 10 in intensity for you right now. And it may require you to do some recall. Do something that you feel you can get some benefit from, because we're all hearing this together, we're going to do this together. And the benefits that we get from each other, the borrowed benefits, even when we're not saying the same words, that is also part of it. Because again, that energy, everything is energy. Okay, so we're all connected to that energy. And when we heal one, we heal all. The points that we'll go over today are the standard ones, and then I will give you my extra ones that I use. Because I have my own healthy living laboratory at home with my 2 boys and myself and anybody who comes along. All right, so most people know about a karate chop point, and that's the starting point. So we're kind of laying that in. So I want you to pick out something that's an 8 to a 10. And our scale is going to go from a 0 to a 10. A 0 means it's gone, zilch. 10 is holy mackerel, highest, bad. 8 to 10 is what I'd like you to find something. If you can go ahead and find something and let me know when you have it, we will start the process, okay? And you don't have to say the words out loud. All you have to do is feel it. You actually do not have to say the words. And that's what's so cool is you actually don't have to, you can do it anywhere. I do this before I'm getting on stage to go speak. and I'll just say what I need to say. inside, because my body's feeling it, like going through the energy. So we start with a karate chop point, and we're just going to tap lightly. I've had clients say, this hurts. Like, okay, just gentle. It doesn't have to hurt. We're not trying to beat yourself up, right? So we're just tapping on that karate chop point. And we're going to say, let's see, I will do, and you'll do yours. You'll say whatever yours is, okay? Even though I feel really scared about my current situation, and for me it's a 9 right now. Okay, see, I can just feel it, and I can go into it. I don't have to say those words. But I'm giving you these words because I want you to hear them, so that you have them, and you'll always be able to go back to them. So even though I'm still angry about this situation, I completely love, forgive, and accept myself. Now, the biggest one is this, accept. And most people are just using, I deeply and completely accept myself. And that's great. I like using love, and I like using forgive, because I've done a lot of work on forgiveness. And that's a whole other thing, because I know forgiveness is a big issue, so don't use it. If it's not for you, don't use it. If you can do fully on accept or love, do that. Okay, so even though I am so angry about this, it's already going away. It's already come down. Even though, so that whatever your issue is, I deeply and completely accept myself. It's fast. We haven't even gotten to the points yet. That's how fast this energy can work, especially when you practice it regularly. It's almost like you're tuning yourself, okay? Do you have any questions so far? Are you with me on this? Okay. So even though I have this, and we're doing it 3 times, that's the standard that I learned from Gary Craig. I know that Nick Ortner does something different. I do it 3 times because I learned from Gary Craig, and that's what he did. 3 times to set it in with the karate chop point, okay? Then we take the emotion, the intensity, the emotion. Mine right now is because I'm coming down already to a 7, this angry about this relationship that I'm in right now and having whatever my incident is, right? It's already unraveling. That's what's so beautiful about this. Now, the next point we're going to go to, and I'm just going to draw one eye, is we're going to go to the inside, and we're going to tap. And we're just going to say this anger, or this anxiety, or this feeling of wanting to eat that cheesecake right now, but I know it's not good for me. Okay, whatever it is for you. And you're going to tap 5, 7 times. Bum, 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 bum. Okay? And then you're going to come over here to the outside point and tap. Tap with me. I want you guys to do this. Yeah. For whatever it is that's inside you, it can be in there, and I just want you to go through this process. Okay? And then under the eye. About 5 or 7 times. And you can say the issue. You don't have to go through I love and accept, none of that. Okay? We're just tapping out and shifting the energy here. Now we're going, here's the nose, and we're going just under the nose. This angry feeling. Ooh, okay. And as things come up, I voice them. So for example, what happened just now that shifted between this point is I just went into deep grief and sadness about this incident. And so I'm continuing to tap on this. Now and this deep grief that's coming up. Okay? And then I come down to the breast point. Right in here. You can feel it just between the breast point. Okay? And there's a couple different components thinking on this, because some do it underneath here as well. Okay? But this point for me, because of the work I did with Donna Eden, and over here